there's this tremendous disconnect in this country with our, quote, leaders and us. And let's talk about that before we get to this continuing resolution in the House of Representatives and all the other things we're going to do on this show. Leaders, leadership. There are different kinds of leaders. There are great ones. There are awful ones. And look, I can only give you my experience with leaders. When I was in the Marines, you got to find out who the good ones were and who the bad ones were. And the good ones, the truly good ones, yes, they would demand hard things of you. There's no question about it. But they would also put themselves in the same hard situation, that's one. And two, they always, as your leader, took on more than you took on. That's what they did. And that's what they believed because they cared so much about you. They viewed leadership as a burden, not a privilege. A burden, not a privilege. So all day long, we're PTing, we're in the field, we're doing these things, we're digging in. Your leader, if you have a good one, which is rare, but if you have a good platoon sergeant, well, platoon sergeants are actually pretty common, but he's digging in with you. He's doing these things all day long. And then at the end of the day, he doesn't rack out. He takes the first watch. You, men, you're tired. You sleep. I'm your leader. I will stay up. That's leadership. But in this country, we don't have that because our, quote, leaders, the politicians, Democrats and Republicans who lead this country, they believe that you exist to serve them because they see themselves as kings and queens. You're there to provide a better life for them. You know, we just had this House, they passed a continuing resolution, 336 to 95. 209 Democrats supported it, 127 Republicans supported it. 127 of them. And I need to clarify before we go to Mike Johnson and everything else, and I'm going to keep beating this drumbeat over and over and over again until you roll your eyes and just start pounding your head off the desk. Because the American people need to know. I know you already know, but you need to go tell Normie Norm. You need to tell your neighbor. You need to tell your friend at work who complains. The prices in your life are high because of the government. Because the government spends money and prints money it does not have. I'll say it again. The prices in your life are high because the government spends and prints money it does not have. You are stressed right now about energy, about food, about various other things. You're watching your standard of living go down in real time. Not many people in American history have had to experience this. Some have, but not many. But you're watching your standard of living dip below that of your parents and your grandparents. That's what you're experiencing right now. And you're experiencing it because the government is spending and printing money it does not have. That devalues the dollar, meaning your dollar does not go as far. That's why you're poor. Here's Mike Johnson describing why they just had to pass this thing.
So the latter CR, the two-step CR, everybody calls it something different. It's a new innovation. But it's going to change the way we've done this. We have broken the fever. We are not going to have a massive omnibus spending bill right before Christmas. That is a gift to the American people, to break it up and put it into January 19th for the first tranche of the bills, and February 2nd for the rest. And that will allow us to go through the deliberative process in good faith. I'm going to take everybody at their word that we're doing this in good faith, to do the appropriations process as it should be done.
What's that mean? Well, they're just going to keep spending at their current levels. That's what that means. They don't want to deal with any hard fights. They certainly don't want to defund themselves. You see, they're not leaders. For these people, they get together, and their highest priority is not you and your grocery bill, not you and your rent. No. They're not worried about your standard of living going down. For these people, Democrats and Republicans, they get together, and because they're not real leaders, their highest priority is themselves. Every elected representative in the United States House of Representatives should be mortified as they watch their constituents, their standard of living go down. It should be, if they were true leaders, it should be agonizing to every one of these people watching you suffer the way you are starting to suffer. It should eat at them, because that's what a leader does. But the only thing that eats at these people is the thought of not funding the government with borrowed money, with printed money. It's not just that your standard of living is going down. It's that these people are guaranteeing its continued descent without end. No cuts anywhere, ever. You know, I was just told about how great it is that we're just going to fund this. Then we don't have to stress through Christmas. Isn't that great? It's just fund it and fund it and fund it. I will try again in January, of course. In the meantime, the DOJ has declared war on half the American people. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has declared war on half the American people. Wrap your minds around the fact that Republicans just joined with Democrats to fund this organization.
Those individuals, that watch list that we talk about, why do you think in 4 years before this there were only 11 and suddenly there are 294 in the past few years? Why do you think that's so?
I can't really speak to that issue. It's not in my lane.
Oh, it's not in my lane. Terrorists? What? That's not in my lane. But you know what is in his lane? Funded now by Republicans, fully funded by Republicans. You know what is in his lane? Attacking pro-lifers, arresting them at gunpoint, including ones who volunteered to turn themselves in, continuing to hunt down like dogs peaceful January 6 protesters, spying on Donald Trump's campaign, raiding Mar-a-Lago, deciding that school board parents are domestic terrorists, deciding that you, with your Gadsden flag or your Betsy Ross flag, are a potential domestic terrorist. Oh, did I mention, on multiple different occasions, running cover for the Biden crime family, both to cover up his crimes and to ensure his election. But priority one for Republicans and Democrats in this country is to make sure that organization has all the funds they need until January. All these people do is care about themselves. You see the Thanksgiving numbers? Compared to 2019, turkey's up 32%, ham 97%, rolls up 54%, stuffing up 41%, potatoes up 30%, green beans up 32%. I could go on and on and on and on. But I want you to understand, as you watch your standard of living be destroyed, as you watch your rent go up, your gas go up, your food go up, as you watch the cost of everything. Have you been out to eat recently? When's the last time you took your family out to eat? We went out to a chicken wing place locally on Friday. We're high-class people like that. Just me, wife, 2 kids. We went out to a chicken wing place. It's like $85 for a family of 4 eating chicken wings and fries and waters. $85. But hey, government's got their cheddar cheese until January. After all, that is the most important thing.